Hey, welcome to the net. If you're already on, no, we don't think there's anybody on yet. I'll notice if anybody comes up, but maybe some of you already are there, maybe not. But another wonderful net. Last week was great because we had, or last Saturday was great because we had somebody come in from 200 miles away in Mobile, not Mobile, but Alabaster, Alabama, 202 miles from me. Several of the guys work the station Simplex, and he was on a vertical, and I was on a vertical, and probably most of the people were on verticals, although a couple do have beams that they were able to easily deploy during that relatively short period. But it just shows you how surprising and how much fun Simplex can be. Hold on one second. Get the radio in the place I like to have it. Sounds like I'm watching a watch. There it goes. Anyway, it's only 1 minute more to the net. I'm sure I'm not being very entertaining. I'm haven't cleaned up the desk in a while. It looks like you can't see it, but it's looks kind of like a yard sale's going on. Just a bunch of stuff laying around, or a bad ham fest. Anything else we got tonight? Nobody's still on. I've been on for 1 minute and 20 seconds, and that I know of, nobody's there. If they are, they're going to have to say something. Wednesday, and it is 7:59 and 20 seconds left. So we shall see who shows up or when. Doesn't really matter whether it's on the live feed. It doesn't really matter, not to me anyway, because I don't have to worry. If I know what I sound like, unfortunately, and I know what everybody else sounds like because I see I'm at the center of this mess. There, it's 8 o'clock. Very good. Is the frequency in use? Is the frequency in use? All right, very good. My name is Paul, K4PEW, with the Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net. Is there any emergency or priority traffic? Nothing heard. I presume there's none. If there's an emergency, please call 911. That's what I get every time I call the doctor's office. I call the pharmacy. If I call anybody in the medical business, if this is an emergency, please hang up and dial 911. Do you really think you have to be told to hang up and dial 911? It's just instructions for morons. Anyway, don't hang up. Just call 911. Anyway, what else was I going to tell you? Oh yeah, if it's a priority or emergency, just break in and tell us you need one. You don't have to do anything formal other than, hey, I need help. And for information on the net, you can see us right now on YouTube Live, and you can look me up under the call K4PEW or under the channel name, which is Brain Trusts, BRAINTRUSTS, one word. You'll find me. Lots of people do. Or you can go to our website, which is 146415.net. There's some fun information there. I think it is anyway. You can tell me if it isn't, or you want to put something else up there. I was thinking about replacing it with getting rid of that and just replacing it with a YouTube video, short one, a couple of minutes, just explaining what Simplex is all about. That may actually be better. We shall see. I still got to work on that issue. If somebody has any ideas, let me know. And you can see us on our Yahoo group site at MJ_SS. That's Mike Juliet _ Sierra. Or you can send me an email at K4PEW@ARRL.net. We normally meet at 8 p.m. every Wednesday and Saturday night. And of course, we're on 146.415 megahertz FM Simplex. Pretty sure everybody listening knows where that is, unless you're off frequency. Purpose of the net is to A, have fun. 2, to train ourselves to be better ham operators in the event of a need to have emergency communications. And we invite everyone to use the net to announce amateur radio events and activities in support of the local community, because we deal with many communities in this area, from here. And it's a directed net, and all traffic should be coordinated by moi. That's French for me. I'm sure you all knew that, because you're all trilingual, I'm sure. Speak Southern, speak French and Spanish. It's a directed net, and all traffic's working. I already got that part. No? Yeah. Okay, somebody have any announcements? Got nothing. My announcements are we do have a breakfast coming up, but it's not this Saturday. It is next Saturday, week from this coming Saturday. So it came upon us pretty quick. It's the second Saturday of the month, and since the first is a Saturday, the second Saturday will be the 8th, I believe. 7 and 1 is 8.
KB4SFM. KG4SF.
Hey, hold on. We're not taking check-ins yet.
Announcement, please.
Okay. Very good. Yeah, what's up there, Tom?
The Wilson MC Radio Club meeting is this coming Saturday night. This Saturday night at 6 o'clock, room 122 at Lamprey Hall at Cumberland University. This is our annual Christmas party. There's no meeting, just bring a covered dish and come to enjoy everybody's personality, and bring a spouse if you like, if you got one. That's at 6 o'clock, Saturday night, room 122, Lamprey Hall at Cumberland University. KB4 is in, back to net control.
Yeah, that would be the first, right? That's correct. The first is Saturday, correct? That's the day you're having.
December.
Say again?
1 December 18th, okay?
Yeah, I got it. Very good. Let me just say that for everybody. Tom with the Wilson Amateur Radio Club is telling us on the announcement that their Saturday night meeting, which isn't really a meeting, it's just going to be some fun and festivities with food and drink. You should bring a covered dish if you can, if you're bringing a couple of people. It's at 6 p.m. in room 122 at Lamprey Hall at Cumberland University. And it's just going to be an informal sit down and have a good time with other hams. So if you need information, you can always reach Tom at, where Tom? I forget.
At the tom.parkercharter.net or phone number 615-587-2337.
Very good. It's tom.parker@charter.net. And that's CHARTER, and Parker is PARKER. So it's TOM.PARKER@charter, CHARTER.net. And his phone number, if need be, is 615-587-2337. Does anybody need any fill on that information? Very good, Tom. Appreciate the announcement. Do we have any other announcements?
Kilo India 4, Sierra India Bravo.
It's about the Boy Scouts, I bet you.
Bet you're right. December the 30th at Camp Boxwell, myself and another fellow will be teaching the radio merit badge to a group of scouts. Not exactly sure what time we'll do this, but at some point we'll be talking probably on the 9-1 and this simplex frequency at different points in time, of course. But I would like as many folks as could. And we'll be willing to kind of be on the air so some of these kids can figure out what it's like to talk on two-way radio, ham radio more particular, and go from there. I appreciate the help, and we'll see how it goes on the 30th. Thank you.
Yeah, very good, Richard. We got it. And that's Richard, of course, is helping and working with the Boy Scouts for their ham radio merit badge at the Boxwell Reservation. And they are going to be there the 30th. It's December 30th. And I guess the best advice I could have is if you're not going to be home, monitor this frequency and or the 9-1 repeater frequency so that you can get a chance to talk to some Boy Scouts who've never been on the air and give them a hand in understanding what's going on there. And that's December 30th on either this frequency, which of course is 146.415, or on the 9-1 repeater. And I just hang out there all day if you could do it, either mobile or it's your QTH. Does anybody need any fill on that information?
Clarification, please.
Yes, go ahead, Tom.
Is it November the 30th or December the 30th?
December the 30th, almost the end of the year.
Copy, thank you.
Question, please.
Yeah, go ahead, Charles.
What do y'all do at that get together at barbecue? And is the address on the website? What's your address?
The address is it's not on the website for barbecues. I don't think. It might be. In fact, I think it is. Somebody looked for me, but It's on Mount Juliet Road, right next to the railway station on the east side of the road, just south of the railroad tracks. It's hard to miss. Right next to Jet's Pizza. It's in the same little strip mall.
What is your website address?
146415.net. Very good, Charles. Sounds funny having to say that because I thought everybody knew it. What's the well? Same as the area, same as the frequency. All right, very good. Any Phil or questions on any of those announcements? All righty, I'll let that go with that. And I think the Wilson County. See, what's today? What's today is Wednesday. Tomorrow night, I'm pretty sure the Wilson Club is having a net. Their Aries net at 8 p.m. on 147.105 and a plus offset in 156.7 PL. And that's at 8 p.m. on Thursday night. It's mandatory. You have to be there. No, I say it's mandatory. They only had, 6 or 8 check-ins last Thursday, and I really think that more of us should be checking in there just for fun. Tom does a great job with that net. All righty. Anybody else with check-ins? With announcements before I move on? Very good. By the way, everyone's obviously can come to that breakfast a week from Saturday, including wives, whatever, if that's what you have to do. Not that we would avoid it. It's just a get together. We don't really have any formal stuff going on. I'd like to do maybe a little presentation or somebody bring in projects, which we sometimes do anyway, but it'd be nice to have that happen as well. But everybody's welcome to show up. Anybody interested in amateur radio or just meeting amateur radio operators, because that's such an interesting, upwardly mobile, outstanding group of men and women. All right. I didn't hear any laughter in the background. So all right. Well, you might as well start taking check-ins. This one, we need to start do the West, I think, is where we're moving on to this time. West of Mount Juliet, please come in.
Sorry, volume. My west or north?
No, you can take West if you want. Very good, Charles. How you doing tonight? Doing any good?
I got a massive toothache. I went to the doctor today, finally. Got some anxiety, blood pressure, and amoxicillin.
You're a walk-in case of something, man. I can't believe you didn't resolve that tooth yet. You've had that for a month at least.
I got more than one. It was on the right side, and then it went up to the top, and then out on the left side. Boy, it hurts.
Yeah, see, that stuff tends to spread. Those kinds of things, infections move around, and it's dangerous to your health in general. I'm sorry to hear you're going through that, but I hope you get it resolved. Well, very good. Your signal's pretty good. How's that antenna working? You haven't had any problems with it in that last windstorm?
I'm surprised, but I haven't touched it.
Yeah. I had a surprise. Yesterday, there was about 80% of the leaves on my maple tree, the one that turns yellow, whichever kind that is. And it was beautiful. It just looks like it was a blaze. And then that freeze hit yesterday, and all the leaves fell off at once, man. I'm surprised I didn't hear the thud. There's no leaves on the tree at all anymore. They're gone.
I tried to burn some wood today. I guess all that. I don't know why it's not frozen. I actually saw ice out there in the fields a little bit.
Oh, yeah, there would have been. It was like 18 or 19 last night. Might even been cooler up where you are. All right, Charles, very good. I appreciate you checking in. Sounds like you're doing okay other than the health issues. Hope you get those resolved. Who else we got west of Mount Juliet? Please come in.
KM4YRF.
All right, there you are. There's a pain without the toothache.
Glad you noticed.
Yeah, you sound good. Everything. I just talked to you earlier today, but everything going okay in the meantime?
Yeah, everything's been going great. Had some little bite to eat. Got to rest and relax for a few minutes before the nap.
Oh man, you could have taken time just come over and help me take care of my mother.
Well, I could do that.
No, I'm fully capable. I just don't always want to do that. I went in today and there was a lot of stuff going on, but she needed help getting up and down and to the bath, to the toilet, etc. And as I walked out, she goes, "No, don't go away." I can't go away. Where am I going to go? I can't get farther than 50 feet from you, man. It was just funny. She goes, yeah, I know.
Yeah, I remember those days well.
Yeah, well, I can't leave her alone, so that's kind of the deal. Anyway, appreciate you checking in, Michael. You sound good. Can't wait till you get up a little higher.
It will be set.
Yeah, that'll be great. Michael got his hands on apparently a good deal on a tower. How big is that tower?
50 feet.
Yeah, 50. You know, you're going to get that tower up and you go, hey, does anybody have any Roan? What is it, Roan 25?
You're probably right.
That's what first thing I'm going to hear when you have to get that. Does anybody have any extra Roan 25 laying around?
I'm just going to have to be satisfied, I guess.
Well, I don't think we're ever really satisfied with something if we can think we can do just a little better. It's like a never-ending. I was thinking about, I think you may have heard me say that, I think it was today or yesterday. I said, I looked at my stuff and I was messing with some of the equipment and trying to hook it up properly and, well, differently. And I thought, how did I acquire all this crap? You know, and it's not that I have a lot. I know people who have a lot more than I do. Anyway, good to hear you in there, Michael. Sounds like you're doing all right. You got any plans for, other than the tower, any more Christmas wishes?
Yeah, I'm prodding my son and daughter pretty good about an antenna analyzer for Christmas. You know, kind of threw out the hint that they could go in together, you know, and it wouldn't be that much.
I don't know if you realize how dumb that sounds to non-hands.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. You know, it's like telling somebody who likes fashion. You say, what would you like for Christmas? Say, listen, what I really like is a high quality nut driver set. You know?
Hey, I could go for that as well.
Oh, hey, listen, I was trying to bid on one on eBay. There was a older Craftsman set, a nice old Craftsman set. And I lost. It didn't go cheap either.
I had a real nice set when I worked at Grace, but somebody borrowed them one night and didn't bring them back.
Yeah, that long-term borrowing isn't very good. All right, Michael, good to have you in there. Good signal. Thanks for being there. Who else? West of Mount Juliet.
W4AWE.
All right, John. You doing okay today? Nice and cool.
Yeah, cool is the word. I was out dabbling around over here in 19 degrees, and it was interesting, quite brisk.
Yeah, well, I'm just glad it wasn't real windy. It was, when I was out today, it wasn't very breezy at all, so it wasn't terrible. I just didn't want to spend a lot of time out there.
Yeah, but it sure is relative being here in the South. I turned on the HF rig and listened to some guys up in Vermont and New Hampshire talking about the weather up there. That is quite a contrast.
Yeah, I happened to look at a few days ago when they had a cold front moving through there before we had ours. And Mount Washington there in New Hampshire was minus, I believe it was 19 with gusts to 85 miles an hour.
Yeah, I've never been there, but I've seen pictures and video of that mountain. That is quite a summit.
Well, you just don't want to go up on it in the winter.
Yeah, I hear the winds up there are just legendary.
Yeah, I can't imagine anybody living up there or going up there in the winter. I bet you it's impassable, really, to get up there in the winter.
Yeah, I think, and I could be wrong about this, I think there's some obscure ham radio book about a guy who maintained maybe it might have been a broadcast FM or FM tower that was located up on that summit.
Wow. Yeah, well, it wasn't serviceable in the winter, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think it was sort of the story of his saga of doing transmitter and tower maintenance.
Yeah, which would be a task, but there's another subject that only interests either people in broadcasting or in ham radio.
Yes, indeed.
All right, John, good to have you in there. You get working on any, thinking about new equipment for Christmas?
No, I finally made a little bit of progress. Got my little corner HF operating station put back together after months of just sort of sitting around here. So small steps of progress, and sometime during a warm day or two in the winter, I'll get
get the UHF, VHF beams up.
Yep, I'm with you. Yeah, it's fun having a VHF beam up. It really is. And I do have a UHF beam, but I need to replace it because I couldn't put it outside and expect it to last because it's handmade and it's made of wood and wire, and the wood just wouldn't be holding up outside.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I've been lucky to get decent results on HF with an in-fit half wave. It's sort of surprising how good that can work.
On which band?
It's basically tunable really easily from 80 through 10. Although I've seldom used it on 10.
Yeah, see, I was bragged about, and I still have it. You can put together a half wave wire connected to a quarter wave, either twin lead or ladder line, and at the bottom of that, you hook up any length of coax. And that's for any antenna, any band. But I did it for 10 meters and had a ball with it. Just hung it up on a tree.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically just what I'm doing is a modern day version of a zip, which is what you're describing. It's just I'm using a toroid as the balance instead of the twin lead.
I got you. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Most people don't think of that necessarily as a zip, but that's exactly what a zip is.
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting form of propagation, looking back at some of those old drawings of how they hung those, 75, 80 meter antennas straight down off of the Zeppelin.
Yeah, you're right. It is, but they managed. In fact, I've got an Audell's book on radio mechanics from 1940 something, 46 maybe, and the antennas all look rudimentary, but they're very similar to what we have now.
Yeah, it's amazing how little the concepts and the principle, the concepts in physics and electromagnetics do not change. And I just love those old patent drawings, the way the detail is done so beautifully.
Well, that's because the actual work was beautiful too.
Yeah, it really is great looking at some of those old drawings, the Tesla stuff.
Oh, absolutely. It's just detail that you don't necessarily see well, now we've lost all the beauty in drawings because we went to CAD, and CAD has no brains. It just has, here's what I do, and it's got no, in other words, you could tell one drawing from another if you were working with mechanical drawings.
Well, I remember that from engineering school, how daunting that first freshman class in mechanical drawing was, with that room full of those big wooden drawing tables with the sliding rules on it. And I don't even know if that exists anymore.
I'm betting it doesn't exist. I'm sure there's designers somewhere that use those, because I still, if you can believe it, I still have my T, for straight, the horizontal line. Well, you can do a horizontal, vertical, but still have that from when I took mechanical drawing in junior high school. And that was, I think everybody should at least learn something about that. I don't know if they need to take mechanical drawing, but they need to be exposed to that kind of stuff. Anyway, appreciate you being there, John. Starting to show my age. Nobody takes mechanical drawing. All right. Who else do we have west of Mount Juliet Road? Nobody west of Mount Juliet, west of Wilson County, west of Mount Juliet Road. All right. I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to go up to the north of Mount Juliet, north of Lebanon Road. Nothing north. Oh, we're getting slim here. Nothing north. Please come now, north of Mount Juliet.
WB0NOL. Didn't want to key up on somebody.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We don't care. No. So you could wait forever not keying up on somebody, you know that.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, it's always this hesitation, and I'm sure you've seen it. People go, you'll see them both key up instantaneously, almost at the same time. And then you go, hey, there was a double, go ahead. And then they go ahead and they do it again. And they say, okay, there was a double, and then neither of them key up.
Yep. That's when you got to know at least who one of them was and tell that one to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there's no way to know otherwise. It's kind of fun. So how you doing, Mark? You doing well?
Doing well. Yeah, that's kind of like you hear on the police radio every now and then. Well, the car that has a stuck microphone, please check your mic.
You know, I heard that at 3 years ago at on the repeater down there at Huntsville. Somebody had their mic keyed, and the net control. He says, whoever's sitting on there, push the talk button, please. Somebody said, "Hey, they can't hear you."
Yeah, I've heard it before too. So anyway, I don't really have much traffic tonight. Just kind of quietly sitting here. Gonna go see Martina McBride tomorrow night. That'll be fun.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Did you have any plans for Christmas gifts that were headed in the ham world?
Well, I do. I've asked for one thing, and I asked for the new ARRL handbook that is split up into about 6 books, primarily because I'm getting so old and decrepit that when I take my 2018 ARRL book and try to put it on my lap, my legs go to sleep.
Yeah, it is pretty. It's a hefty book. Did you get the hardcover or the softcover, or is it available in hardcover?
I've got the 2000. What was it? It's the 18 hardcover, I think. But the 19, they have one that is like a 4 or 5 volume set.
Huh. I guess that's good. And you have to buy them all at once, right?
Yeah, they come as a box set, limited edition.
Huh. I didn't know that. Why are they doing it this year? Do you know?
Probably because all the hams like me have complained that they can't pick up the book anymore.
Well, in my case, if it falls off my shelf, it'll probably kill me.
Could happen. That would be an awful way to go.
Yeah, I'd make sure. Well, my wife wouldn't tell him I got hit by an ARRL book. That wouldn't sound too good. All right, Mark, good to have you in there. Mark wants to get the new 6-book edition of the ARRL handbook. Yeah. Fortunately, things don't change too much between handbooks because I still have mine from, 15 years ago. All right, good to have you in there, Mark. And that was Whiskey Bravo 0, November, Oscar. And Mark is in... Mark, I forgot. Oh, you're in, you're in Hermitage. That's where you are. Good to have you in there.
Yeah, kind of close to the weather station.
Yep, close to the weather station. And before that, I had Whiskey 4 Alpha Whiskey Echo John, and he, of course, is in Bellevue. Before that was Kilo Mike 4 Yankee Romeo Foxtrot Michael in Bellshire. And then Charles, who is in, it's KG4 SFF, and he's in Cottontown. And that's it at the moment. Let's move on. Who else we have north? Please come down. All right. Anybody east of Mount Juliet, please come in.
WA4ZHI.
Bravo.
All right, Richard, hang on. All right, James. Any ham gear in your future?
Maybe a little far future. Right now, I'd have to clean up the space for any more equipment.
Yeah, I got you. I shudder to think. Every time I think I'd like one of them new fancy rigs, I look at the 3 rigs I have and I say, do I really need another rig?
Yeah, I got shelves and books and equipment on racks and all kinds of stuff.
Yep. We never put those pictures of those things up on the QRZ page.
I always wonder about that. There's so many neat looking shacks.
Yeah, they look really neat. Well, I figured what I'd do is I'd take a picture of somebody else's shack, one of those shacks of the future, and just pretend it was mine.
That might work.
Yeah, well, somebody'd find out sooner or later. Say, hey, let me hear that, that special rig, that $10,000 ICOM rig. Let me see how that sounds.
Oh, it's in the shop right now.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, it's not working. All right, good to have you in there, James. That's James, Whiskey Alpha 4, Zulu Hotel India, who wants to clean up his own stuff before he gets any new stuff. And he's right here in the heart of Mount Juliet. Richard, how you doing from Lebanon?
Can't complain, doing all right. Just got through eating some sausage balls that we made. I love them. Anyway, as far as new gear is concerned, I'm going to be perfectly content to get everything I've got properly, and all that kind of thing. So I think I'll work on what I got, and if I need anything else, maybe I can stumble down the road and get it somewhere. Anyway, appreciate you doing what you do, and hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Talk to you when we can. KI4S, I'll be back to that. Thank you, sir.
Yep, and that was Richard, Kilo India 4 Sierra India Bravo. He's over in Lebanon. I was just going to tell you. Oh, yeah, you said about the sausage balls. I remember you just keyed in a quick memory. I was in the Clearwater Mall, oh, gosh, probably 30 years ago. And there was one of those. It was in the fast food court, the food court in the mall when they still had food courts. And maybe they still do. And so I forget the name of the restaurant, but this big sign, they had a big sign for new product, and the new product was turkey balls. And I realized they weren't talking about literal, it was just turkey meat shaped in balls.
They had a lot of nerve, I'll call it, putting that. that's somebody. No, that wouldn't have worked.
I'm just telling you, that's what the sign said. All right, very good. It never left my mind, though, because in those days I didn't carry a camera or cell phones. I didn't have a cell phone, of course, 30 years ago. So I could have taken a picture, which I think they got rid of that. Somebody finally pointed out, I'm sure, to the advertising people that wasn't a good idea. All righty. Good to have you in there, Richard. Again, Kilo India 4, Sierra India Bravo. He's over in Lebanon. Who else east of Mount Juliet?
KN4 LXH.
Hello, Jimmy. How you doing?
Hey, Mr. Paul, how's it going, buddy?
It's going pretty well. It's been a good day. It's a little cool. I didn't do a whole lot, but it was. I didn't do much except for around here. Like I told somebody, I feel like a nursing home administrator some days.
Yeah. Well, I managed to acquire some good used equipment. It's not new, but it is good used equipment. I got 38 feet of 25G tower, and I'm going to pick up a 20-meter monobender.
You said a 20-meter one? 20-meter monobander, you said?
Yes, sir, 20 meters, and I'm going to take my vertical, which is just on the back side of the house, and put it on top of the tower above the beam.
How many elements on that 20 meter?
I think it's a 4-element.
Oh, that ought to be great.
Yeah, it's about 8.3 dB gain, and I think there's like 25 dB front to back on it. So, yeah, it should be pretty good.
Yeah, the only time I've ever worked a beam like that, I'm trying to think. The only time I think I ever have, it wasn't mine because I don't have an HF beam at all. But when I was at, when I was at the 10 Tech at their Radio Shack over at the plant a few years ago.
Oh, okay. Well, that's great. There's going to be a tilt-over tower. I'm going to build a stationary support stand that's going to be about 10 feet tall, made out of square steel tubing, and that's going to lower and raise the tower.
That'll be great. That'll be fantastic, actually. And you said that was going to be, that's a 38-foot tilt over, right?
Yeah, it's just a round 25G tower that I'm going to build a hinge on the bottom of it, and you're going to have a large pulley on, well, not a large, but a fairly good sized pulley to lower it and raise it.
Yeah, I got you. Sounds good. How high up is your antenna now? Or you don't have a beam up now, but I mean, how high is your highest antenna now?
I guess the highest one is the 4080 inverted V. I've got that strung into a pine tree, and I guess the pine tree's up about 30 feet.
Yeah, well, that's not too bad. It sounds like it's working for you, but it's hard to do that same thing with with a VHF, UHF antenna. You can't. It's hard to pull them up into trees.
No, you can't do that with your VHF or UHF antenna, but I will let the VHF antenna sit above the beam. It'll be about 40-something feet in the air.
Oh, that'll be great. Yep, I'm envious. Like I told Michael earlier, you get something and then you want something more. You want just a little more. I can just do a little better, especially if it's low cost.
Yeah, well, somebody said, well, why don't you put up a 70-meter and, excuse me, a 70-foot tower? And I said, well, I think if I did that, my neighbors would get sort of nervous.
Yeah, I think I told you, might have heard me say before. If you look up under that one org that makes out in California that makes the crank up towers with motors, I think it was a 60-foot, might have been 100, but I think it was a 60-foot crank up, and I figured with the concrete base, it was not excluding electric would be about 32,000.
Yeah, well, crank up towers, we're talking thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and that's not in my budget.
No, I was thinking about putting up a GoFundMe site though, so I can say, hey, look, I really need this, really, really. Of course, nobody would believe me.
A GoFundMe site, I never thought about that.
It'd be neat if you get other hams who felt sorry for you to send you a few bucks. I don't think that would happen either.
I don't know. Empathy and hams, I don't know if that really goes together.
Yep. Well, it does, but it's like, you don't have a tower? It's just that's too bad.
Yeah, that's right. That would be the response, I think.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, you see, I got an 8 dB 20-meter beam, and they go, yeah, that's too bad. I got a 16-element beam. It's just too bad.
Yeah, I just talked to a guy last week and had a 70-foot crank-up tower with a stepper IR 4-element multi-band beam on it. They probably cost $5,000 just by itself.
Yeah, no, I've worked guys like that, and it's disgusting. I mean, it's disgusting in a nice way, because their signals are usually awesome, and they're doing most of the work to my silly little wire antenna.
Yeah, he also had a 40-acre vineyard covering a couple of hills and nice one of these white Mediterranean houses with the red curved tile roof and a couple of Mercedes and all that.
Yeah, well, it's good to be the king.
Yeah, I guess it is. So back to you, buddy. I'll let you get on with it.
All right, Jimmy, good to have you in there. That's Jimmy Kilo November 4 Lima X-Ray Hotel, and he's just on the north, up by Lebanon Road, just north of the high school, and that would be Mount Juliet High. Who else east of Mount Juliet?
Hey, I'm Rich.
Hey, Stan. You doing well?
Doing good, Paul. How about yourself?
Let's put it this way. You normally say I couldn't, if I were any better, I couldn't stand it. If I were any better, my wife couldn't stand it.
Sounds like you're doing good then.
I don't know. It was funny. I went to get paper towels in a house like this with 5 dogs and 2 old ladies and us 2 and the other stuff. Went to get paper towels and they were all gone. I went, the heck? I had like 12 rolls I just bought. It seemed like last week and they're gone. I'm like, what the heck happened to all the paper towels in this house? Gee whiz. And so you go through a lot of stuff a lot quicker with a full house,
Yeah, I understand that. I don't know about any new stuff, but I got an old antenna from Robin, the TA33 Junior, that I've been trying to clean up and get up in there before too long. But I don't know. That might be an over-winter project.
Did that antenna need any new elements on it?
It's kind of, the reflectors kind of messed up on it. A couple of the there's some pieces that telescope out that you put the traps on, and they're not wanting to telescope out very good. But I think we can get it going now.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Sounds like a nice little project. You say you're going to do it this winter?
It might be a springtime project. I don't know. I'm not real wild about working out in cold trying to do any kind of tower work.
Oh, man, it's like somebody told me, man, it builds character doing that kind of stuff.
Nah, I've been on a 30 or 40 foot tower whenever it was cold and windy outside. Nah, it's not a lot of fun.
No, I agree. It isn't. It isn't any fun being in the cold, handling metal that you can't really wear gloves to mess with it, with tools and screws and bolts and nuts.
That's for sure. Okay, well, Paul, enough. Back to net.
All right, Stan. That was Stan Kilo Mike 4 Hotel Quebec Echo, and he is just on the north side of Lebanon over there, and east of me about 13 miles or so. Who else east of Mount Juliet? Please come in.
KB4 SFM.
Hey, Tom. We need to drum up. It was mandatory. I told everybody it was mandatory to check into your net tomorrow night.
Hope they do. You're all invited. Yeah, we need some more check-ins. Give you practice for severe weather activity. How come, Paul? I'm shooting out the whopping big 100 watts tonight.
Oh, wow. Of course, I don't think it wouldn't matter to me just because I'm relatively close and our elevations are compatible. But yeah, 100 watts on that. Is that from the TS2000?
It is. Yeah, so to increase coverage, need some more height on the antenna, just on top of the house, on top of 2-story, but thought I'd see what it sounded like.
Oh, no, it sounds great. The audio quality is great. And of course, the signal is right up to the limit.
Oh, okay. Well, listen, let's say goodnight to you and everyone on the net. And 73, thanks for the announcement on the 147, 105 net on Thursday night. TV4 SFN.
Yeah, very good. Good to have you in there, Tom. And of course, that was Tom over there from Martha. Did I get that right? Martha, Tennessee?
It is, Martha. If you know where Martha is, then I know you're from this area.
Yeah, but I didn't learn it until recently, and I've been here 7 years, Tom. So I guess I'm a slow learner.
73, Paul.
All right, very good, Tom. And of course, that was Kilo Bravo 4 Sierra Foxtrot November. Tom over in Martha, just not too far from Lebanon. All right, who else east of Mount Juliet? Had a double, but I heard Kevin in there covering everybody up. How you doing, Kevin?
I tried to let everybody get in front of me and figured everybody was done. I guess I didn't wait long enough. I'm going on well. Doing pretty well over here. Everybody's, we're all toasted. Let's say that. Doing pretty good. I don't know what the question was, but I think maybe it was probably, are you going to get something new for Christmas or something? Is that it?
Yeah, well, it's not really are you going to, is it do you hope to get something new? Because everybody says, well, I gave everybody hints and clues and even cut sheets and folders, flyers, and pages ripped out of MFJ. But yeah, you're hoping somebody will get it for you.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Doesn't sound like I need to go do anything. Everybody sounds like they're upgrading, so I'll just stick right where I'm located, and down here at the bottom of the totem pole. So I don't know. Hell, that may be a Christmas gift. It'd be a surprise if it was. I'm not looking to get anything for a little bit until I put the duckies in a row. And not a whole lot more going on over here. The rest of that story. I'll pass it back to Ned. Everybody have a good evening, and I'll talk to you when we can. KG4.
Yeah, that's a new policy. Really, what you do is you stay where you are in your antennas and feed lines and rigs. Just leave them the way they are and let everybody come up to you and surpass you, so you don't have to upgrade at all. Everybody can talk to you and vice versa.
Yeah, I guess. All right, thanks to you, Paul. KG4.
Yeah, very good. Well, that's what the beauty of being in the middle of this, big wide circle is that technically, if I can hear everybody, that's the plan. And since everybody who talks at some level, they get to where I can hear them and everything's fine. And I never have to do anything more, especially with this antenna. I don't have to do any more. But Kevin, good to have you in here. That's Kevin, Kilo Golf 4, Mike, India Zulu, and he is in just a little bit west of downtown Lebanon. Who else east of Mount Juliet?
In 4MAW.
Hey, Michael, you just broke your record, didn't you?
Yeah, Tom mentioned something about what we were talking earlier, so I went ahead and punched the frequency in so that I would have a built-in reminder of the net, so I would keep that. And about $9.99 a minute. I think it's the third time since you started the thing that I remember to check in. But, good to hear you, and appreciate you having me on this evening.
Oh, yeah, no, it's always good to hear from you. Yeah, you had said, last time we talked Simplex, actually, you had said that. She says, I'm batting nearly 1,000. I haven't been on the net in ages. And I said, that's all right. There's no rules. We don't, it's hams. Well, we have rules we live by, but on checking in or not checking in. I'm happy if people are listening. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, ultimately it doesn't. But yeah, it was good to have you in there. You have any hopes for the Christmas gift list?
Well, ham related, I've already got one. Bought one of those new Shark RLs, open spot 2s for digital. I've done, C4FM, DMR, and D-Star. And they're in the process of coming out with upgrading the firmware for the NXDN as well. But played around with it for quite a bit. Used it for, I could hit the DMR repeater up to the best page from the house here using the rubber duck on the HT. But I could jump on and move around some of this for more than 15 minutes. So I did our open spot 2 and it works great. In the car, tethered to the iPhone using LTE for internet connection. So enjoying messing around with that. And cousin of mine out in Washington sent me a message the other day. Bought him a new Mavic, one of the new Mavic drones, DJI Mavic drones. And so right now, he just left one he sent me, just left Oregon. So it's FedEx Center there in Oregon. He's given me a Phantom 4 Advanced 4K camera. So all I have to do is pay the shipping on that thing. So about a $1,500 outfit coming for about $100.
Oh my gosh! Hey, that SDR Shark, what's that run? A couple $100?
Yeah, it's a little over $200. I think it comes out to like 249, 245, between 245 and 249. It's like 199 euro. So whatever the exchange rate is. The thing about it is, I ordered it on a Monday night, and it was here on Friday. That Friday evening. So it came from Estonia to my house in literally 5 days.
Wow. What coincidence. I went through Ancestry.com. Turns out I'm part Estonian.
They got a sale on right now for like $49. I'm seriously thinking about doing that. So kind of just see on both sides of the family, mother side and dad side, both is said that there's Native Americans in our heritage. Nobody on my dad's side, none of my cousins on that side have been able to. Several of them done the ancestry, not found any Native Americans in there. But if you look at a picture of her mother's mother, she's got the real high cheekbones, the real straight, jet black hair, a lot of distinct facial features of Cherokee. And so I'm seriously thinking about doing that just for S&G.
Oh yeah, no, I found it to be a lot of fun. I did my wife's and mine, and my mother's and my mother-in-law. So we did 4 of them, and they were all interesting. My wife, I had a contact from one of the people because they actually list people if you want to, who can contact you if they're related through the DNA. And this woman contacted me through Australia about my wife's, and it turns out that she said that one of her ancestors went to Australia because he was there as a prisoner. It's part of England's justice system. And so now I kid my wife about her having a felon in the family.
One of those skeletons in the closet, uncovered. Yeah, I'm really thinking about it. The price is really right now, so I'm definitely thinking about giving that a try. But other than that, got the Shark RF and contemplating the radio purchase, but haven't quite figured out whether or not I want to try to do that or not. We'll see. But anyway, good to hear you and hear all the chickens on the net. Heard a few voices I've not heard in quite a while. Yours being one of them. And old Richard from KI4HIV, hadn't heard him in ages. Because the last time I talked to him was at the Ham Fest back in July. So good to hear everybody. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving and has a blessed Christmas. Stay warm and stay dry the next few days. The warm's not going to be too big of a problem, but the drive part could be with this rain. Anyway, everybody have a good evening. Back to that.
Yep, good to have you in there, Michael. That was Michael. N4 November 4 Mike Alpha Whiskey, and he's over in Lebanon. Anybody else east of Lebanon Road? Anybody else east of Lebanon Road?
W4, yeah.
All righty, you're east and you're south. So how you doing, Eddie?
Southeast.
Looking to buy any more stuff besides the yard sale and pawn shops?
Not really. I need to downsize. That's hard to do. I think I'll just keep the stuff I've got and just try to keep it properly maintained. And thanks for doing the net tonight, Paul.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Don't downsize, okay? Because the only time I've ever seen downsizing in hams is when they go silent key. That's the only time. Nobody seems to make them smaller.
Well, that's a possibility too at this age.
So I think you got a few years left in you. Well, very good, Eddie. Good to have you in there. Now you got a great signal, but again, being 5 or 6 miles from me is not too hard to do. And that was Eddie, Whiskey 4 Echo Bravo X-Ray, here just east of Mount Juliet and south of 40 about a little bit, and east about 5 miles. Who else east of Mount Juliet Road?
K4 is easy.
Hey, there's Mr. Signal down there with the Weber grill. Well, it's not Weber, it's a generic grill. How's that?
Well, yeah, that'll work. I'm on my Ringo now, and it seems to be after hooking it in and unhooking it and hooking it in a different way, I guess. I don't know. I guess I found that sweet spot, but I guess it's working. Nothing going on new over here, except for I could use some motivation come Christmas, I guess, to get these here director sets back up in there and whatever. But there's so much changes going around out there in the ham world now with fusion and digital this and sound card that and jumper wires here, there, and other hook up to your PC and internet. All them extra pieces and parts, man. You're talking $20 at least just for a interface cable and everything. I'm just like everybody else. I'm getting by with what I got, trying to catch up a little bit. Some of it just ain't worth getting into, I don't think. Nickel and dime here, nickel dime there. I got one that's broke down. I got to get it fixed. So I'm just trying to maintain with what little bit I got over here and be happy. KE4 to easy. Happy days to everyone out there on the net that can roger my little radio downsized station over here.
Yeah, very good, Earl. Yeah, you were about an S5, which is a good signal, decent. So that you're messing around with that. The previous antenna, not the ground plane on the grill. But yeah, you sounded real good. It's a real good audio and a decent signal, so you're doing great. And by the way, that we were just mentioning earlier with Michael, but that Shark RF, which he says goes for about 200 and change. I don't know what that is with the euro values, but that does DMR, D-Star, System Fusion, which is that C4 FM, NXDN, I don't even know what that is. And P25, I know what that is. And also POCSAG, DAPNet, whatever that is. I'm not familiar with that one. It might be a European thing. But anyway, I just thought everybody know that's the Shark. You can look it up on Shark RF. It's interesting. I've heard of it before, but I've never messed with it. All right, very good, Earl. Good to have you in there. And that was Kilo Echo 4 Delta Echo Zulu over in Noreen, which is just east of the Cedars of Lebanon Park. Who else east of Mount Juliet?
KK4WU.
Hello, Bill. You doing okay?
Yes, sir. What's happening?
Well, nothing until you got here.
I don't know about that, my friend.
Yeah, somebody was. You were doing something with somebody on a radio, and I forget what it was now. I think it was JD over there from living there over there 109. You were doing something with him on a radio, maybe?
Yeah, I was talking to him the other night. He's a new ham for us, and got his technician license here recently at the last test. So I don't know what we were doing, but we were definitely jawing a little bit.
Yeah, no, he was just mentioning it to me. And I said, man, you don't want to be talking to Bill, man. He'll lead you down the wrong path for sure.
Absolutely, you'll definitely have a cashindectomy. You get hooked on these radios and everything else. And I told him, I said, it's just begun, buddy. Your problem's just begun.
Yeah, I know. It is true. As I said, you just all of a sudden you see, how did I accumulate all this stuff?
You know, you're exactly right. And it brings me to the Christmas thing that you asked. I think my Christmas present to myself will be using more of the equipment that I got.
Yeah, absolutely. Just getting the time and the inclination to try different modes and different bands and getting on the. That's what I was doing yesterday. Was messing around with the one rig I have and making sure it functioned okay on both CW and on. It's a 160 through 10 rig and it's all mode, but it's 32 years old or something like that. So just want to make sure it operated okay, and it does. So I'm looking forward to using it. But anyway, yeah, good to have you in there, Bill. That was Bill, Kilo 4 Whiskey Uniform in Possum Town this time, right?
You got it. Possum Town, Tennessee.
Pretty soon they're going to make me the county mayor, Wilson, man.
We actually have a parade over here at Christmas, and they don't do a bad job from what I've heard.
Huh. Yeah, I wish I could go to it, actually. I can't drag these old ladies out very easily anymore. But, maybe I can. Who knows? They can't get out of the car is the problem.
I still think what we need to do is get somebody with a big pickup truck and a flatbed trailer and, put some rigs on there and some portable antennas and be in the parade.
Yeah, I can just see it now. Everybody be looking and say, who are these people again?
All right, Paul, it's good talking to you, man. Thanks for everything you do.
All right, very good, Bill. Same to you. All the stuff you guys do over there at the club and over there at the EOC for Wilson, the WEMA headquarters there. All right, that was Bill, KK4W in Possum Town, and not to be confused with Raccoon Town. Who else we got east of Mount Juliet? Down to the south, please come now. Anybody south of 40, please come in.
KN4CCQ.
So I think I woke you up. It took a while.
I was over here night drinking.
Yeah, well, it's been a while. It's already almost an hour into it. I didn't realize it was this long until I just looked. But how you doing tonight, Preston?
I'm doing great. Heard a lot of stations out there this evening. Everybody sounded good. A few stations I couldn't copy, but for the most part, everybody sounded good out there.
Do you remember which stations you couldn't hear there from what do you call it? From I'll think of it in a second. From wherever you are, it just struck me. I can't even remember my own things that I remember routinely now. Over in it's Possum Trot. That's where it is. I thought I was repeating myself, but there's any particular stations you couldn't hear that you noticed?
Possum Town got you thrown off there. No, I didn't write anything down tonight, Paul. It's just I just been sitting here listening. But for the most part, I probably copied 75-80% of the people out there this evening.
Yeah, very good. I'm just glad you got that little tower, and a nice antenna, and you're doing a good job.
Roger. Well, good evening to you. Sounded good. Pass it back to you, sir.
Very good. That was Preston, Kilo November 4, Charlie, Quebec, and he is in Possum Town. Anybody else south of 40?
Kilo Echo 4, Sierra, Yankee, Victor.
Hey, Larry, thanks for hanging in there for nearly an hour. How you doing this evening? Are you looking for any new? You going to replace that tower with a 100-footer?
Not this year. I just know Batman was Simplexians.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah, and the website I had on the on the Mount Juliet, the MJ_SS Yahoo site has that same symbol but bigger, and it's also somewhere. Where else I put that image? Oh, it was on one of the videos on YouTube. I used that as the thumbnail. It's an image of Batman overlooking Gotham City or something with the on the highlighted the big light in the sky. It says 146,415.
All right, man. We'll let you go. KE4SYB.
Very good. That was Larry, Kilo Echo 4, Sierra Yankee Victor. Great signal out of Rockville. Anybody else out of the 40?
Kilo Delta 4, Zulu Golf Yankee.
And thank you for hanging in there from Shelby. Well, it's not Shelbyville. It's Rag, Slap, Rag. What the heck is that name again?
Shake Rag.
Oh, Shag Rag. That's right. Yes. What a great name, really. It's kind of funny how those names come about, and you explained it to us. It's great.
Yeah, Shake, S-H-A-K-E-R-A. Shake Rag. Yeah, good evening to everyone. KD4's ZGY name's Ed there. Enjoy listening to the net there. Good job there, Paul. I'll turn it back over to you.
Yeah, very good. All right. Do you think you're able to copy most people from your location in near Shelbyville?
Oh, yeah, I didn't hear the first part of it there. I was in the other room in there, but what I've got in here was about 2 that I couldn't hear.
Okay, very good. Well, your beam's doing a good job, and obviously so is your shack. So good to have you in there. And that was Ed from Shelbyville, actually Shake Rag, excuse me. And that's Kilo Delta 4, Zulu Golf Yankee. And that's near, I think it's southwest. Am I right on that? Southwest of Shelbyville?
That's correct.
Yeah, very good. That's Shag Rag. Great name. I love that name. Shake Rag, excuse me. Shake Rag. Keep saying it wrong. Ed in Shake Rag near Shelbyville. And who else south of 40? Appreciate you being there and hanging in there.
Kilo 4, Oscar Foxtrot, Oscar.
Yeah, it must be almost past your bedtime, Donnie.
Yeah, it is. I was just thinking about that.
You know what time I got to bed this morning? It was 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I know how it is. When you get our ages, you got to kind of look after these things a little bit. We're not young like we used to be.
No. The actually old age of I'll be 70 next birthday, but that's not super old, but it kind of snuck up on me and said, hey, how did I get to be almost 70, man? This is retarded. I don't like it.
That's why it's good to hear all these young people on here. At least we know there's going to be somebody there, even when we're not around.
Yeah, I'm going to hire some of those migrants who are coming up from Mexico and Honduras, have them come over to the house and help me out.
I'm not going that far. I'd go down there and help stop them, but I don't want to do that and invite them.
I got you. I'm just joking for anybody who thought I was telling the truth there. All right, very good. Actually, it's funny here in Tennessee. I know there's quite a few people from south of the border. I'll just use that term loosely. But when I lived in Florida, in Tampa, because it was, I don't know the reason ultimately, other than being a lot of agriculture in the soft fruit business, oranges, grapefruits, and all the melons and strawberries and tomatoes. There were, I don't even know how many. They're not all migrants. Some of them are citizens, but I forget. It's just like 100,000, maybe more in the area I lived in west coast of Florida. So it was here. It seems like there's none, But anyway, Donnie, it was good to have you in there. That's Kilo 4 Oscar Foxtrot Oscar, and that's Donnie, and he is in Hermitage technically, but he's about 5-6 miles south of Mount Juliet, almost due south of me. And K4 PEW with the net, and anybody else south of 40. Kilo 4. What was it? I didn't hear that very well. Very good. Forgive me, my memory. If we've talked before, I've forgotten. How you doing? And this is Kilo 4 Tango Juliet. Go ahead.
Roger, this is Bill in the borough. You're 10 over 9 here, and best wishes to everyone. Back to that.
Yeah, very good. Have you checked in before? Because I don't remember.
I don't remember either, but I'm brand new in this area.
Aha. Well, welcome to the area, and we appreciate you checking in. As you can see, we get your number 20 on the list. Last net, I think we had 27, and we've been as high as 34. And it's moving a little slow. I'm moving it slower than I should probably tonight. But good to have you in there, and I hope you enjoy. This frequency is used probably more than any other simplex frequency that I know of in Middle Tennessee, but you're always welcome to jump in there.
Thank you. How's the signal?
Well, your signal was, hit me one more time while I'm looking at it.
Okay. K4PEW, K4TJ.
Yeah, you're full scale, Bill. You're doing great.
Thank you. 73.
Yeah. What antenna, before you leave, what antenna are you using at what height?
Slim Jim at 25 feet.
Slim Jim at 25. Imagine how good you do with a really, really high gain antenna, because Slim Jim isn't much.
No, but it's doing pretty well for around here. 25 watts out.
No, you're right. It does very well. You're right. Absolutely. But anyway, we'll move on from there. But appreciate you being there, Bill. And that's Kilo 4 Tango Juliet. He's got a Slim Jim at about 25 feet and 25 watts, doing a good job here into Mount Juliet. Kevin, how are you copying him over there? You still there?
Oh, yeah, I'm here. I heard him just fine. Had an S6 on him.
Yeah, okay. I just checking to see how it was over on your end of the plantation here. Let's see who else. Anybody else hearing him from farther away? Say north. Is anybody in north or northwest hearing him very well? How about if John is still there? Whiskey 4 Alpha Whiskey Echo. Are you there? Mike, are you copying him at all?
Yeah, it was. He was down in the noise some, but I could barely hear him.
Okay, so you're getting some copy up there in north of Nashville, a few miles, area called Belshire there, Bill. So you're getting out pretty good for 25 watts on a Slim Jim. And you can do the math. If you look up Belshire on the map, you'll see where he is. And that was, by the way, that was Kilo Mike 4 Yankee Romeo Foxtrot. And Michael, did you get your location squared away on QRZ?
Not yet. I'm waiting for them to contact me by email.
I hope you got a couple years.
You may be right.
All right, very good. But Bill, yeah, you're doing a good job. Getting all the way up in the north Nashville, which would make it about 24, 25 miles. But you're a little down in the mud, he said, and he's got a great antenna. So obviously it's not going to be perfect up there with the J-pole. But okay, anybody else south of 40?
K1SPD.
Hello, Scott. You were able to copy Bill K4TJ pretty clearly, I bet you.
Oh, real good signal on it.
Yeah, very good. You're good, of course, as well. You been keeping busy, or are you going to retire someday soon?
Somebody asked me, was I working? Let's see, I was going into Nashville Monday or Tuesday morning. I said, no, I'm not working. I'm running Scott's mobile truck repair.
Yeah. Especially when you're running commercial stuff. And how many miles do you put on a week?
Oh, it's not bad. About a tank of fuel a week. Every 5 days, maybe.
Yeah, is that a standard tank of what?
32-gallon capacity diesel.
Yeah, that's not a little bit. And of course, running commercial stop and go in heavy traffic is pretty rough on a vehicle.
Oh, yeah. Well, truck run's great. A liftgate I constantly have issues with.
From my past experience in industry, lift gates are from hell.
Well, I specifically ordered this one when I bought this truck because I was so pleased with the one I had on the previous truck. And, times change, huh?
Maybe you should have ripped the one off the other truck.
Oh, really? All right. Any further ado on a 10-meter net?
No, we haven't. We've gotten to a point where there was some interest. Well, let me do this. Yeah, you're right. I'm glad you reminded me about that. Let me write that down here to make sure I don't forget, and I'll attribute you to beating my head about that 10-meter. And we did want to do that FM, though, didn't we?
I would say sideband because you can't. Everyone can't participate on FM.
Well, that's true. That's true. Everybody can't participate on sideband either, but I think you're right, though. Sideband would be a better choice. Like I said, it would be great if somebody wanted to pick up the ball and do a sideband 10-meter net independently, because I know there used to be one. So, well, let me put it that way. Some people told me there used to be one. I never heard it when I first got here, but I haven't heard anybody doing 10-meter nets at all.
There was one on Friday nights. I can't
remember the frequency sideband. But and there used to be a 10-meter repeater in the Nashville area, but I think it's out of service.
Yep, I hear you. Well, it'd be nice, like I said. Well, again, the issue with all nets, a lot of times when the prime mover, people like myself, they die or move on, the nets sometimes just collapse, and that's why it'd be great if somebody else just picked up another net, because I don't want to do them all. I'm already doing 2 a week, and I don't need a third one in here.
Oh, why not? You got nothing else to do. Carry on. Say when it's to do.
Now listen, I'll just do third party and let my mother do it. That'll happen. That's a good deal. She can talk.
I bet she'd love that.
I think she would too, as long as I helped her along. She would. I assure you. She's in spite of her problems, and she has several, and she's had trouble the last couple of days moving because of this nerve/muscle pain in her lower back. And in spite of that, she's got a great attitude. I hope I can behave that well when I'm in such bad pain. But anyway, appreciate you being there, Scott. And again, 10 meters sideband is probably what we need to pursuing for those still listening. And I'd love to have somebody pick up that ball, but we'll let her ride for the moment. I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can generate. Seems we generated this pretty good, so maybe I can generate something else. All right, Scott, appreciate you being there. It's Kilo 1 Sierra Papa Delta in Laverne. Anybody else out the port? Moving on to late check-ins then. Late check-ins, east, south, north, or west. Please come now.
And for PQX.
Okay. Is that Johnny?
Joey, not Johnny. My dad's name is John. I am Joey.
I did it again. I thought I had it right this time. I'm sorry, Joey.
You're getting closer and closer. And you'll get there one day, I'm sure.
I will. It's just, I think I mentioned to you last time, we've had, at this point, probably 200 different people checking in. And, there's always there's a semi-group of regulars that can check in every time, and some just once a week. And so sometimes I go for a name and I go, I don't remember. Just like I did in that last fella. I didn't remember if I talked to him before or not. Because sometimes it might be a year between somebody checks in, So anyway, I appreciate you being here. It sounds like, did you change antennas, or is it that new antenna or the one you had doing a good job?
Well, I'm not using a handheld or rubber duck this time. I'm still using the mag mount, but I'm using my Alinco going at about 20 watts.
Yeah, you're really strong to me, but not that far. How high up is that antenna? Is it still about the same?
Probably about 7-ish feet, because I put it about as far off my head as I could get it.
I guess. That's not very high, but I'm doubting. I can hear you just fine. I mean, you are full scale to me, but then again, you're only 5 or 6 miles south. Whereas I'm pretty sure. Michael, are you still there?
Yeah, he's half scale to meatball.
Oh, there you go. You're doing a great job all the way up to Bellshire in northeast Nashville.
Great audio, too.
That's awesome. Thank you. I'm hoping that maybe this weekend I can get my proper antenna up. It'll depend on if I can get my dad to help me or not.
You get Robin to help you. He's the one that dragged you into this hobby.
That's a good point. I might hit him up on that. Just make him do all the work. I'll be the supervisor. I like this plan.
Yeah, tell him you're the safety officer. He'll like that.
That's a great. I like this idea. This is awesome.
That's what hams are for, just to help.
We are very helpful people.
Yeah, very good. Very good. And again, that was Joey, not Johnny. Joey, Kilo November 4, Papa, Quebec X-ray. Another kind of tongue-twisting call to me anyway. Kilo November 4, Papa, Quebec X-ray. It's a great call, PQX. All righty. Sounds almost like a Q call there. Anybody else late check-in, please come down. Working on lollygaggers, sandbaggers, and lurkers. And we'll also throw in the scanner listeners if they choose to email, text, do something there. Call me, flash a light in the window. Anybody?
I resemble that remark.
Yeah, you're doing fine, Earl. You checked in good and timely and in the right location. Anybody late check-ins, lurkers, sandbaggers, lurkers, please come down. By the way, for anybody who is a lurker, we're happy to have you, even if you don't check in. I don't know who listens, because I presume that there's scanner listeners within the sound of my signal, and that goes out about, depending upon the terrain, upwards of 65 miles that I'm aware of under normal conditions. So I'm confident there's some of you listening. And I even appreciate those that I can't hear or see or I've never met. I hope you enjoy the net, and the hams are having a good time. And we do try to have a good time. And I encourage anyone who has not gotten their license to do so, because it is fun. It's as fun as I hope I'm displaying it on the air, because we have really, aside from working with the Boy Scouts or Kiwanis or one of these service groups around the country, you won't find a better group of guys and women as well is Aaron Ham Radio, because they're upbeat, optimistic, and helpful. We were joking about that a minute ago, but hams are very helpful with each other because it's a great hobby. Anyway, last chance, any check-ins, any place, anywhere, please come in. All righty. Great number of check-ins tonight with 22. Appreciate you being there. I don't have any other additional information for this is Wednesday. No, going to leave this one as it is. Already rent an hour and a quarter or so. Beloved, if you looked and checked in on the YouTube page, which is under my call, either under my call K4PEW or on the Brain Trusts, BRAINTRESTS. It's a plural. I don't know why. No, I do know why, because the other Brain Trust is a singular, has already been taken. And that's one of my email addresses is brain.trust. If you want to see me sometime, ask me why I use that show. I'll enlighten you. But anyway, appreciate everybody being there. Anybody, the last chance, certainly the last chance for check-ins, please come in. All right. I'm closing down the net. Appreciate you all being there. And there was 22 of us here. And it was a good night. One new guy that I know of. That was that Kilo 4 Tango Juliet Bill down there in Murfreesboro. Good signal, and looking forward to hearing from him again, as well as I don't know if there's any brand new ones, but Joey comes close, and of course that was that Kilo November 4 Papa Quebec X-ray. So you guys have a great night, and hope to hear you on the air. K4PEW closing down.
W4AWE.
Calling for me or just anybody in particular?
I thought I'd mention something to you I think you would really enjoy. You ought to go to the QRZ page and read through it for Mike, who's the founder and CEO and owner of M Square Antennas. I had a brief QSO with him on 40 meters, and the guy is just